So let's talk about the stock market. So what's going on in the stock market today is the question we must ask ourselves. So in the past 10 years, numbers have changed and prices in stocks have dramatically increased. For example, corporations such as Walmart and Target have increased their prices from about $5 to $8. Now this causes people to not only buy less and less of stocks from these type of corporations, but is now beginning to buy more and more from companies such as SOX Global. Now SOX Global is a company that is not only dominating the market and is global, but they are taking out big name corporations such as Nike and Adidas. Now due to their success, many other companies have failed. So today with me I have Alex Trebek. Now I interviewed him and I asked him a few questions on what he believes is going on in the stock market today. He is actually the CEO of SOX Global.
Well, growing up, I've always been interested in business. My dad was a businessman, and I always looked up to him. And so, growing up, I went into Chapman, and I wanted a master's in business and economics. So from then on, that's always been my goal, is just to be a businessman just like my dad.
Okay. How did you start out in the stock market?
Well, a couple friends of mine, we all just figured, okay, let's do this together. So at first, we did toothbrushes, and
How did that go?
that didn't go so well. Our business failed within the first 3 months. We went bankrupt. I had a hard time with my friends, and we struggled. So we figured something essential, something everyone needs, and we figured why not socks. And from then on, it just boomed, and business has been great.
It's awesome. So what made you want to start out in a business like this?
Well, we just figured, something that is big, something that everyone needs, something that can make money. And we figured stocks was the way to go with that.
So what kind of stocks do you specialize in though?
We specialize in any kind of stocks. We've basically been dominating the market.
Really?
Yes, we have control basically of 80% of the market.
Wow.
Our stocks are sold worldwide, and our profits are just incredible.
Have you bought out any big companies out there?
Yeah, we've taken on Nike, Adidas, Under Armour, all these different clothing companies, and we basically have taken control.
Wow. So taking control of all these stock market companies, buying out Nike, buying out Adidas, but I have the question on this. There's a lot of people that think that you run a monopoly. Is this true?
I don't believe so. I believe people are doing what they can to bring me down. I have taken every advantage, and I have assured myself that I will be on top. Some people could say, yeah, I run a monopoly, but in my opinion, I've just been doing everything I can to be successful.
So you were saying how you bought out companies like Nike and Adidas. So show me your guys' socks. How much do they cost, and how much do you guys produce a day?
Well, this is our sock line right now. We do all different kind of socks. We do different colors. Of course, I can't bring all of them here because there'd be way too many.
Yeah.
But for the most part, we sell each pair for around $3. Modest priced. Some people think it's a little expensive, but people keep buying them. So other than that, we have socks of all kinds. You might see some brand names, and Star Wars socks for all the Star Wars fans out there.
It's pretty cool.
Yep.
I think my son would like that.
Oh, of course. There's a big Star Wars following, and we try to do a lot of socks that incorporate different ideas and different designs and logos that people like. So people keep buying them, and that's basically it.
Here today, I interviewed Mary McClure. She's the owner of Socks R Us. Her company has actually been on the verge of bankruptcy due to this so-called monopoly. I actually got a chance to interview her and asked what she thinks is going on in this market today. In today's society, do you think a monopoly exists?
I do believe that a monopoly does exist in the stock market specifically. One company owns about 90% of all the companies in the stock market as a whole, and this is really eliminating competition between the companies.
So what do you think about the stock market today?
Since I believe that a monopoly exists, I do believe that it's extremely corrupt, and companies like mine, Socks R Us, is really having a hard time staying on top and keeping our sales up year after year. They're plummeting, and it's had a major negative effect. We've had to lay off several employees.
So, being in this type of market, I'm assuming that you know who Alex Trebek is. Him being at the top of owning all these companies and buying out big companies like Nike and Adidas, what do you think about him in this type of situation?
I believe that he's a successful businessman and he knows what he's doing, but unfortunately, since he's buying out so many other companies, it's really eliminating the competition, and it's really hard for companies like I said, mine, and maybe 2 others that are left to really compete with sales. All of us, or our companies, are going under, unfortunately, and it's had major negative effects.
So, if you think that, put it in this way, if Alex never existed in this type of market, do you think things would have changed, things would have taken into effect, anything would have been different?
I think the atmosphere would be completely different. Companies like Adidas and Nike, they would be competing on the same playing field, and all of our sales would be roughly the same. A few companies would be doing better than others, but that's pure competition. And companies like mine and others would still be succeeding instead of a few years out failing.
So you mentioned that your sales were plummeting. So how were you guys before this happened?
Well, here's a scale that you can kind of compare it to. In 2001, our sales were doing really well. We were making roughly $34 million a year.
Wow.
We went down a little bit, but our sales were up again, better than ever. And then in about mid-2003, Alex Trebek joined, and his company started taking over, and our sales plummeted. And now, as you can see, in 2015, it's looking like our company is going to go bankrupt soon, sadly.
Do you have any possible ideas on how you can take down Alex Trebek and try to get back to where you were in the sales of socks in 2001 to 2004?
The only solution I could possibly see is more sock companies entering the market and leveling the playing field, making competition there again, and that way our sales can rise once again.
After we interviewed her, we tried to get back to Alex, but he declined the interview. Well, that's it for tonight's story. I'm Dylan. Good night.